often I'll get asked questions such as, I'm gay or I'm planning on having a baby. Is that something that I disclose to the residency program, or is that something that if they ask me about, that I should tell them? And I think that there are sort of two flip sides to this. The first one is that there's actually a law talking about employment that you are not allowed to ask about certain things. There are certain questions that are off limits.
So race, gender, pregnancy or parental status, ethnicity, national origin, religion, sexual orientation, color, disability, veteran status, ancestry, not Ancestry.com, but Ancestry, medical conditions, and domestic partner statuses.
Yeah, and those are all off limits for employment. And residency is a form of employment, and so legally they are not allowed to ask you about those unless you open the door. Don't make me laugh. That's not helping.
It's like it's the same rules about vampires, right? They can't come in unless you invite them in. So if you open the door and you start talking about your Mormon missionary trip to Zimbabwe, then you have just mentioned your religious affiliation voluntarily.
Exactly. That's 100% accurate. I have no idea your reference about that vampires aren't allowed to come in unless you invite them in.
Oh, yeah. You've never seen Lost Boys? Yeah.
I have seen Lost Boys, but I don't remember that being a key element of it.
Key element.
Really? About all the interview questions, and for anyone that's applying to medical school, just to point out, these questions are only related to employment. And actually, there's a lawsuit that's currently in the courts about a school asking about these things. And legally, the school is allowed to ask about these things because you're a student, not an employee. So these rules don't apply. However, one of the problems that program directors have is that they can't be sitting in every single interview room. And so they can't control all of their faculty. In fact, some would say they can control none of their faculty. And so along those lines, it's not uncommon that you may get asked a, quote, illegal question. And my general advice is that if you get asked an illegal question, that you probably will gain more knowledge from answering the illegal question. I remember when I was interviewing, I had an interviewer that said, "Oh, so are you Jewish?" I said, Yes, I am. And they said, "Well, you have to work every Friday night here. You don't get Friday nights off. That's not the way that it works." I said, "Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that." And I did appreciate that because it made me know that if I went to that program, being Jewish was going to be a true detriment and that I was going to be discriminated against and it was going to be a problem. And so I took that program off my list because of it. Now, that being said, I expected that I was going to work every Friday night. So nothing that he said was really a surprise to me. But knowing that his attitude was against people that were Jewish was going to be a problem.
I also think that you should never have to answer those questions. But during medicine, you will be asked difficult questions by patients who don't sign off on anything. And I think being able to respond to a difficult question in a reasonable manner is a skill that you will be expected to have. So certainly the question never should have been asked in the first place. But if you stop the interview and start screaming, you haven't demonstrated that skill. And I think in some level, it's also being able to answer a question without answering a question. And that's fine too.
I think that question could have also gone a completely different way. Are you Jewish? Yes, I am. Well, we have an interfaith group that meets every Friday and at lunch, and we'd love to have somebody that was Jewish to present a different religious perspective. Wow, that would have been a great answer. And so I think it's the same sort of thing. If someone says, "Are you gay?" you're probably going to get more information from your answer of "Yes, I am," as opposed to keeping it to yourself and saying, "Boy, I don't really feel comfortable answering that question."
Right. The flip side is you shouldn't have to answer the question if you
Agreed.
don't need to. And so if you're actually not gay, should you say, "Yes, you are"?
No, you should never represent something that you're not. That goes without saying. I do think that the other thing that is hugely beneficial is you should also let the program director know that you were asked an illegal question.
Yes.
And it's a lot easier for you to do that at a place that you really are no longer interested in going to, because then you don't care. But I do think that the only way that program directors are going to be able to make changes in how other interviewees get asked questions is if they have that feedback. And so to make it better for your peers, I heartily recommend that you talk to the program directors.